Alright folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're just here to discuss tomorrow night's Champions League second leg as Celtic head to Austria to face Lask. I'm joined by Alistair, I'm also joined by Nathan to go over it. Nathan, so you're on the channel, which is a bit of a rarity these days, but the Mora, how are you feeling about the game first and foremost?
You know, I was saying this to one of the boys the other day. I've never been more excited to watch Celtic in so many years, so I'm actually looking forward to watching us play and see what we're going to do, but I'm confident, Josh.
Alistair, what about you?
I just no, I'm still got a wee bit of the old nerves about it, but just basically with our qualification record. But I just wondered what happens there. Nathan appearing in the podcast or the eclipse. To be honest,
I only do it when Celtic are playing well. My glory hunter or when they're bad and I can have a rant with a drink in me.
we can
Aye.
honest, I'll give that.
I don't know how to feel about the Mora, to be honest. I'm kind of a mixture of both. I've got a quiet confidence, but at the same time, I'm a bit like it's Celtic. And that comes down to what Alistair says about the record and qualifiers. And the fact that Lass did get a bit of, joy at times last week. So I think it's all going to depend on how Celtic approach the game, to be honest. And the problem is, I think you need to keep that door shut for like the first 15 minutes because Lask are just going to throw the kitchen sink at it to try and get an early goal. Nathan, I mean, last week was really good and we put ourselves in a fantastic position. 3-0 up. Any other team on the planet, you're thinking, I no bother through. But Celtic are that exception. We are still a bit, obviously confident, but still get a bit of, well, Celtic, if any team's going to bugger it, it's Celtic. How do you think we will set up? Because do you think we will sit and defend the lead, or do you think we'll try and at least go for it a bit to try and get that early goal?
I think that one thing that we've realised over this first spell, obviously I wasn't born, but the second spell, I think Celtic just attack teams, and I was talking to my dad about it today, and I would attack them. There's no point in sitting and inviting pressure when they play the long ball and our team's pretty short. I would just play the same way. We've got a great attack. Use it. The best form of attack's defence. And to be honest, Josh, I don't see the narrative of, well, I see the narrative, but I don't see why supporters are worried because I don't see them scoring 4 goals to beat us, to be honest. We're not incompetent, so and everything that came into the box, we dealt with it, and our defensively was really good. So I think fans are a bit too worried. I'm used to it. The game last week were ridiculous. The amount of worry you had, like Alistair, like basically having a panic attack, and every team the ball's going in the box. So everybody's a bit too worried. I think we'll be all right. I think Lask might win the game, but I think that we'll go through.
I think last week, I'm going to defend myself a bit here because I think last week was the fact, and I said to you outside the ground because you asked me outside the ground why Alistair was so, and I'm like, because 3-0 is completely different than 3-1. 3-1, you only, like, I believe that. I think it's a completely different game because if we Lask only need 2 goals to level the tie, they can probably still take it at their own pace. 3-0, you need to come out, and I think that will hopefully benefit Celtic. Alistair, I mean, how would you go about it? I mean, I wouldn't just sit behind the box. I think we can sit backs against the wall, but I think you're also just putting pressure on the defence at that point.
I wouldn't sit in my 18-yard box, but I wouldn't be reckless either. You need to get the balance right. See, for the first quarter of an hour, all you need to do is take the sting out it and frustrate them. Kind of what we did after 15 minutes last week. Remember how we started passing the ball about finding a rhythm, and we managed to cut them open in quite a few occasions. I mean, especially the second half. The second half was more an all-round performance than the first, in my opinion. The first was a bit like a basketball game, and we kind of have that this time. So at least, and the biggest bonus is we know what we're facing this 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 time. So at the end of the day, they've got to come at us because they've got nothing to lose there. So,
Aye, well, the manager has basically said what they're going to do. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at it. Nathan, we played them last week, so I would hope that Martin O'Neill and Maloney have probably hopefully learned what went wrong in kind of that opening 15 minutes of the game, because apart from that I thought we were solid. It was just kind of the opening 15 minutes we looked a bit all over the place. I think the one big thing for me is the line needs to be dropped a bit. It was a bit too easy at times, especially the first 15-20 minutes last week. They were just getting through. It's like, well, I think the line just needs to be put back a bit.
Aye, I mean, what I would say as well is, I think, to your original point about sitting back, you need to realise your midfield's going to be Boer, McGregor, and Negrin. They're not going to sit back. It's too small. You can't do that. I think that Lask will probably mark Duran out the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Duran doesn't have a good game tomorrow, because I think all eyes are going to be on him for the defender. So it's down to Yang or whoever plays to, step up a bit and play well. But I think the line, when you're away from home in Europe, definitely needs to go deeper no matter who you're playing. I think you need to recognise there's a home advantage. So you can't be all like, we're just going to play Barcelona offside trap style. It will not work.
I just, for me, Alistair, I'm going to mention a player because obviously Nathan mentioned Gerrard there. This is Casper, who was brought to Celtic for his goals, but he was also brought for games like this where Celtic might be under the cosh and were able to go long. Last season, in seasons before, when we had Kyogo going on it, that option just wasn't there. I think even me, actually, we could have went long, but he would have never done anything with the ball. So this is why Casper Ho for me might be really important, because I think he might get us up the park. And do you know what? If they want to put all their attention on Duran, then it'll maybe free up Casper Ho to, and this is the thing, because we've got a decent enough attack, there's players there that if you put a lot of attention on one player, then the other players are hopefully going to be able to find space and get us up the park.
I mean, a lot of people said last week it was Casper Hall because he didn't score, he didn't do much. I thought his hold-up play last week was bang on at times. Like the rest of the team took them a wee bit to get used to it, but once we clicked, I mean, if you honestly think about it, we dominated last week, and especially, I mean, Lask are going to get chances. The more you kind of stop them, no getting chances. But as long as we're not reckless, we'll be fine.
Aye, and that's the thing. I think it's no that I think Celtic are good enough to defend the lead, but they can't be stupid. And by stupid, I mean stupid red cards, stupid, just daft free kicks as well. They need to be very. And what I will say in our favour, I think we've got the right manager in the dugout to be street smart about things. I'm not saying that Martin O'Neill's Diego Simeone or anything, but in terms of like the whole street smart thing, but he's got the experience on his side that he knows what it takes to get through these kind of tough European away games. And somebody like I honestly, I think that's the big plus for us as well. It's who we've got in the dugout, Nathan. I think he's just got that experience that he knows how to get through tough games in Europe.
Exactly. I mean, he's been there and done that with Celtic. As well as I really do have confidence in the players believe in what they're doing, and it shows. So as the players are playing for O'Neill, the players seem to be enjoying their football, Josh. Like, everybody seems so happy. I watched the training videos and everybody's got a smile on their face and like wants to be there. Like, we've seen it with the signings. They've all like picked Celtic, even though like they probably could have went to bigger clubs, had a harder challenge, if you want to call it that. So the club's in a good place just now, and O'Neill's got everybody up in a good mood like he done his first time he was here.
I was thinking that point about the club in a good place is a good point. I think it's, and I'm fucking negative as fuck half the time, but even I actually don't mind talking about Celtic at the moment, to be honest.
Thank God.
I was going to
But
say,
no, but there's a positivity because they can clearly see that there's some sort of progress there. This is why this game, the more I named this game as the most important game of your season, because there's a positivity that's, fans are riding the wave of the fact that, we're bringing in players, we're in, a good position in the Champions League, and we're in a good position in the league. We've done really well. We've, scored a lot of goals. We're not conceding a lot of goals. This is why it's important we see this through, and I don't really care if we get beat them on it as long as we see it through, because I would hate, and I don't think this will happen, but I would hate to see the reaction if something did, go seriously wrong, which I don't think it will. I think we'll be fine, but I think this is, I would even say this is season defining, to be honest. I honestly, I think it's that much because I think it sets the tone for your season. It sets who you can attract to this club. We've brought
Josh,
Casper Ho to this club for Champions League football. We've brought Camilo Duran here for Champions League football. It is enormous, this, for the club, and it will just continue to keep that positivity. Because I look at it this way: we qualify for the Champions League tomorrow. We're all going to Falkirk, fucking buzzing out of trolleys.
did you see the draw? Aye.
Aye, oh, just see who we get. Oh, where you go? Where you at? Who you looking forward to? All this sort of stuff. We don't get through it's like a funeral.
Aye.
But no, Josh, I genuinely think Martin O'Neill has united the club again. And I'm not saying all the problems are done because Martin, but he's went a long way to fixing it. And that's all we wanted, to be fair. And it's nice to be excited and enjoy watching the team again. And I think that was Nathan's point. But
I know, I think so.
I do think, I do think that if we if we go through them all, it's only down to one man, to be honest, because he's managed to dig us out a hole, winning the league and cup double, and I don't want to blow my own trumpet here, but I told both of you at the Hearts game, I said O'Neill will make us stronger if he gets the job, and we'll qualify for the Champions League. So, and we're halfway there.
Aye, I think what Martin Hughes told him this season. Honestly, and this is just me speculating, but I know there was rumours months back, or like last month, about Martin O'Neill maybe chucking it, and I'm going to be honest with you, I've got no basis whatsoever to say this, but I don't think there's maybe I don't think it was true. But I think Martin Hughes went behind the scenes and went like, "Here, you don't back me, I'm away. Like, look at another manager because I'm not having this." I think he's basically that. The amount of shite I had to put up with last season, he's sacked me, or he's brought somebody else in before a cup final, which I got used to, who then fucked it up, and then he's asked me to come back again. So you's better bloody back me because you've took me around the ringer, to be honest. And I'm glad. The problem is with Martin O'Neill, and I don't know if he has pushed, but he surely, for me, Nathan, he surely has pushed some buttons. Because it just went for, we weren't signing anybody to,
Yeah.
the players are coming in.
I said this to you at the time when, because I mind you were worried about this, the whole like puppet comments and all that, and there were fans calling him a puppet to the board. I said to you at the time, I says, the club can't know back Martin O'Neill. If Martin O'Neill walked at the club, I probably think Celtic Park would have been burnt down, to be honest. I think as well, like, listen, I seen this comment, and this was a comment I pointed out to you in the taxi on the way home from Celtic Park Wednesday. You give O'Neill, or just Celtic in general, top quality players. This is what you can do, and I've got no issue with the time it took to, I know they were pretty quick, but like same when we got them in, like Casper Hohen, all that, you you buy the right players and you get the right results, and I still think that there's a lot to be done. I want the boy for Torino. I need a left back, obviously. I think Emilio's basically done. We're just waiting on the injury. Obviously a goalkeeper, but Josh, we need a centre half.
I've said it for a long time, but I just don't think we're gonna
We'll get one.
get.
Like, obviously, like, see when I text you the day, and I seen, obviously I know Trusty's fine, but take Trusty out that team, and you're like, Dane Murray's the only backup, and it means we don't have a backup left back if Skills is playing. Because
Exactly.
what if Tierney goes down, then you're moving Skills to left back and putting Dane Murray in Europe? Then that's when you're like, oh, Lask, it looks a bit more daunting.
Aye, no, definitely. I think it's, I think this is, they've done what they had to do. They're doing what they've had to do for me, and I don't know if this is, well, time will tell with us into other windies maybe next season. But you do start to realise, have Celtic actually realised that 6, 7, £8 million is the going rate for a football player these days? That's just what it is. Welcome to modern times. Took you long enough. Obviously, we'll see as time goes on if that's what, and I hope that's what the argument, because that's the going rate for decent football players these days.
It's still, Josh. You think of it, right? We're signing quality players for that money, right? Who want to be at Celtic. You're going to get the money back in results. Duran's already basically, if we go through the order, paid for him.
Exactly. And I look at somebody like Arne Engels. I look at him, we spent £11 million on him. Football's mental
Double
these
the
days, right?
money.
Aye, football's mental these days. Because teams down south are willing to pay astronomical fees for players. So most of the time, if he's sent, did Engels set the house on fire? Probably no. But he was decent enough. We still made money back on him because he's a young guy and he's decent enough. You're going to make money on players because a good player is a good football player. You sign players of that calibre as well, Champions League, they're probably going to work out at that level because they've been exposed to that level. That's just how football works.
And Matt O'Reilly and Benjamin Neaglin, you might be lucky now and again and get a 1.5, a 2.5, but they're becoming less and less because it's a cliche, but you get what you pay for at the end of the day, I believe.
I think it's pretty simple. If the player that Martin O'Neill wants and they've done an analysis on and they think he's the man to come in, see if he costs 5 million, fine. If he costs 2 million, fine. If he costs 8 million, fine. If they've done their homework, but it can't be everyone they, oh well, we couldn't get the 8 million player, so we'll try and go for the 2 million pound. That can't happen.
You need to buy at the same level.
Aye, you need to buy the players that the manager wants. And I know Celtic are restricted within their means, but an £8 million signing is not that.
And you should have, how many times, Ross, have me and you sat here and said, Celtic should be at least looking to pay double digits for a player at least once every summer.
The point that you need to pay, if that's your main position, which centre forward for me was, we had to get decent centre forwards into the club because apart from the collection of actual, the centre forwards were pathetic, to be honest. And so we went out and done that. That's what Celtic fans have asked for. That is all Celtic fans who are reasonable enough have asked for. You sell Maida for 10 million, I expect most of that to be reinvested. You sell Engels, I expect some of that to at least be reinvested. That's all Celtic fans have ever asked for. To have a strategy in place for when these big players leave the club.
Can I ask a question, boys? And if you want me, I, w- I want you both to answer it because if we go through the more, should Martin O'Neill get all the Arnie Engels money?
He should
Mm,
get the players that he wants to bring in. It's not
I,
about.
money's not the issue. I
Like,
think I think what this is. Me and Josh spoke about this on the phone the other day. I think if we go through, what I would want is I know the Bosnian guys coming. I think I'd want the boy for Torino, big, strong, defensive-minded midfielder, box to box, can do everything. Got an assist last night. I'd really want him. I'd want a goalkeeper, but honestly, and I know we're talking about money and all that we want to spend. I wouldn't spend 4 million on a keeper because I think that Arne Engels, sorry, Sinisalo has been outstanding, and I think competition's good. But I think 4 million for a goalie that isn't guaranteed to be number one and probably wants to come and be number one, it'd be a good competition. I just don't think that's reasonable.
$4 million's not a lot, Nath, was what I would say.
but
But
you would
that
still expect a £4 million player to come in and do something in the squad, and it's not like any other position on the park. Where if that's who
Can we
Martin O'Neill
play
wants,
anyone else?
if that's how Martin O'Neill, say we spent £4 million on a midfielder, right? Say it was Segura, and we spent him at £4 million on a right back, Segura to put him at right back. Then he's going to play games because you don't sub a goal in and out all the time. If you do, there's something wrong.
yeah, that's,
Um, but at the end of the key thing for it isn't the money thing, but it's who Martin O'Neill wants. If Martin O'Neill gets us through the Champions League, he should. Right, I want United. Should go and get him. Now, irrelevant to what people think or what I think, certain players. If Martin O'Neill wants them, then you go and get them. If you want Segura, you go try and get them. That's what how you need to do a windy. It's not. And they signings might cost 4 million. They might cost 5 million. They might cost 6 million, 10 million, whatever. But it's who the manager wants at the club. That's just how we should be operating. It's that simple for me. That's how you should be operating as a club.
I mean, Josh,
Um,
stronger would this team look if we had a player like Janitis that in Europe we can go right, bit of height, bit of physicality in that midfield. You've got Boer on the bench as well. Gives a bit of respite to McGregor. You can go, McGregor, you don't need to play every game this season because you can put Boer in, play Janitis and Nigrin. And then you've got the Bosnian boy, hopefully, in midfield. If you go Nigrin, you deserve a bit of a rest. More new play.
the thing about McGregor, I've said for years, McGregor should not be playing 40, 50 games a season. It's just,
He can't do it, Josh.
we moan at the end of the season when McGregor looks shite, and I'm like, why are you surprised? Like, he's playing 50 games a season. The guy's human.
So,
And the reason we're getting the best out of Callum McGregor, because he's been rested.
the workload's been
Um,
taken.
Exactly, but it'll get to the end. Say we don't sign a replace a backup for McGregor, and McGregor plays another 40, 50 game. We'll get to April. If McGregor's been a bit shite, mark my words, because that's what normally happens. It happens every single season.
Josh, well, McGregor's at the stage of his career where, like, as captain as well, he should be teaching the next guy. This is what you
I
do,
think
and doing
I
all.
think what you are saying, sorry, I think what you are saying is if we're playing, well, we're playing Aberdeen next midweek. If that was in December, you should be able to say, Calm, sorry, I know you're captain, but you're not playing. We'll bring you on if we need you.
And I know there's always got to be a drop half because Callum McGregor's a fantastic player, right? He's really good, but there shouldn't be an astronomical drop off. You should still be able to trust players to go in, and that's been the problem for me with that CDM role, Alistair. Callum, we bring in Abelgard, we bring in, Awata was decent. I think he's been probably the best goal we've had at it, but we've never been able to get it right. That bit of depth for McGregor, and we don't really trust the player that comes in. We should get to a level where, as you said, we play Aberdeen in a few weeks, midweek. I think it's next week, is it? Play Aberdeen in the midweek. We should be able to go, do you know what, Callum? You've played a decent amount of football, or a Saturday against, I don't know, St Johnstone at home. Do you know what, Callum? You played the Champions League midweek. we'll give you a rest and we'll bring in so and so because we can trust. And the fans should go, do you know what? It's a bit annoying McGregor's out, but I can still trust so and so to come in. That's not been there. That trust hasn't been there. The guy behind him can do a decent enough job.
And here's my most controversial point. Cal McGregor has never been a CDM
That as well. Aye.
in my mind.
Yeah, he's not.
And
When you
he
go
needs
there.
legs. He needs legs behind. He needs legs hanging beside him for me because I noticed against Dundee United when also Engels wasn't in the team. At times he was just running about, putting fires out.
Yeah.
You know, I need somebody, and that's what I don't know. United might be able to do, come in and help him a bit of assistance, and let McGregor, you know, be a bit more adventurous. Maybe go forward, take a few shots.
Yeah, shooting's impossible.
Exactly. So you know, and that's what I think we're all saying here. I just don't think we're getting the best out of Cal McGregor either, to be honest. But no, in terms of the team, I don't think there'll be too much changes. Obviously, it looked maybe Austin Trusty might miss it, but thankfully he seems to be okay, which is good. So, Sinisalo and goal, I think we're all agreed on that.
Yeah.
Because nobody else.
Aye.
It's the same job.
I'll
Just
make
to
it easy. Same team as last week.
That's pretty easy. No, I think the same team. I think, to be honest, midfield Bauer, McGregor, and Negron, Duran. Who would you play on the left?
Yang.
Young.
I would maybe just for the defensive stuff. I think Hassan maybe not ready at the moment. I think still
I
maybe.
think Young. I think Hassan will be a good sub to bring on, especially if they're going for goals later on.
And up front,
I
obviously.
think we're going to
Casper.
have to be a wee bit patient with Hassan because obviously where he's at fitness wise.
No, I think we're going. I think he's still maybe a while away from. Not a while. I think maybe a few games away from starting. And up front, obviously Casper Howard. There's not going to be anybody else who's going to start up front. But no, the team for last week they done the job at home, so there's no reason why the team shouldn't be the exact same. I did see that when Trusty was potentially injured. I did think I was like, is fucking Liam Scales get voodoo on these cunts or something? Because I'm like, every time he gets out the team or something, and the other defenders do well, he somehow finds his way back in. I'm not saying Liam Scales is terrible at it, but I'm like, you fucking bastards get voodoo on cunts or something. I don't know. I was like, this is.
I think, to be honest, Josh, I did hear a feeling that it would be something trivial with Austin Trusty because we've no played and he would have heard if he'd got a bad knock in training. So I did maybe think he might have had an illness or something. Turns out he had a dodgy stomach.
Aye, no, definitely.
We've all been there.
You don't need to.
I don't need to tell Josh that. My God,
Um,
last
take-
night.
No, but I'm glad it's just a dodgy stomach and he's no injured. So, but no, the last thing obviously, as usual, the score prediction stuff. Nathan, you weren't involved in this. You're not always on, but
no.
you're
No.
not always in it. But you, as long as you text me your score before we start recording, then
Well, I'll give you my score prediction for the
the
morning.
only thing I will say is you need to put a tenner towards it.
All right, that's fine.
It's a prize pot.
Let's
Right.
have one
You
of
get
Bowers
you get
first.
fi- you get 30
No,
quid
let
if
the
you win.
guests go first.
Right, you can go first then.
The guest, I originated that. I was on the first ever video.
Right,
Yeah,
don't need to fight.
we are no in it, so.
I'm not godfather of this. I
Nathan,
took
what's your score prediction?
I took time at my school education and missed my classes to be on this channel.
Yeah,
at the
mate,
first.
you
I made my,
had a free period and it was pretty you didn't like either. So.
well, no, because I missed my higher class after that 'cause I never went
Yeah.
back.
Right, what's your score prediction? Fucking
Right, your language is appalling in this. tonight, Josh.
No wonder you two are thinking like two sweetie rice, man. What's your score prediction?
It'll be 2-1 Celtic.
Right, Alistair, what about you?
1 each.
Oh,
I think we'll score.
Hmm.
I predict us to beat Josh.
I think Lask will get 1-2-1. I think we'll
Oh,
get through. I think Lask might just win it, but I think we'll get through, to be honest. So I think that's the first time I'm going to predict Lask to win. Or the opponent. I think we'll score, but I think, as I said, I don't really care, to be honest,
See,
as
to be
long as we get
honest,
through.
see, as long as we're in the Champions League, nobody cares.
Do you know, this might be mental, but I'll go two each. I'll
Does-
go two each. I could maybe see us, I don't know, I could see his body first 10-15 minutes scoring two or
I've
something.
got 2 down and then.
Well, no, I was going to say two up. You're fucking negative Nancy down there, man. No, two each. Probably won't, but come back to me when it's about 6-0 until last. But anyway, kidding on. But no, two each. Hopefully, as I said, I really don't really care what the score is as long as it's enough to get us through. But I would like it to be at least a bit comfortable, so we'll know.
And I just say when there's always made folks, Josh wrote we were going out. So,
Right, I'm
I know.
going to defend myself here again. By the way, I'm going to right. At that point, when that draw was made, we'd signed fuck all. Like, no, seriously, when that draw was made, I don't know, was it July or something? August? We'd signed fuck all.
I think
No,
I think we just signed Casper Hu and Jamil Duran.
we signed no, I don't think we signed Duran. He was definitely a Casper who wasn't there because I think the draw was made just before I went to Liverpool on holiday, and then we signed Casper Ho when I was away. So I'm sorry, don't have your wee slide going. We signed nobody at that point, and it was a Europa League squad.
you're arguing like sweetie wife still, but
So no, I'm not having that. That is ridiculous. At that point I says the Europa League was because our squad wasn't even a Europa League squad at that point, to be honest. But no, hopefully we can get through and we don't need to use the word Europa League again on this channel this season. But no, I'm going to wrap
with
up.
that music,
Aye.
either.
Good tune, but no, I don't want it. But no, I'm going to wrap it up there for today's video, and we'll
We
be
do
back
got on, by the way, we're just pals. We do got on.
most of the time. No, I'm kidding. No, but I'm going to wrap up there for tonight's video, and we'll be back at some point tomorrow or maybe the day after with post-match reaction. Hopefully with Celtic in the hat for the Champions League draw. But until next time, speak to you later, and hail hail.
Hail, hail.